Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 891 of Geeks in Space. We're back. I'm Rob Commander Tacomalda, and I'm here with Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Chris DeBona.
Hi.
Did we all have a lovely, 4th of July? What else? It's been 27 days.
Yeah, we've been a little slack.
No. I've been busy, so...
Life happens.
Yeah.
You have been busy.
And also, it's not like this is a source of economic or professional success for any of us.
Well, not with that attitude.
No,
Yeah, really.
keep
Rob.
trying.
It's never gonna be so long as you keep talking like that.
I'm a negative Nancy is what I am.
You know how close we are to landing that account with Me Undies?
Yeah. NordVPN and PCBWay.
Yeah.
Well, what do we got here? I did just want to say that this year the fireworks in my neighborhood did not rain down mortars on my house.
Hey.
Last year was legit scary because there were literally burning embers all over my lawn and we were finding chunks of fireworks on our roof like a month later. And this year, totally safe.
Well, that only matters if your roof is flammable.
You ever considered living in a Quonset hut made of metal? You know,
I was thinking more yurt.
A yurt. Yurts are pretty flammable, though. I mean, they're basically wood canvas.
But aren't they a triangle? So like the stuff will just fall off the edge.
No, it's round.
Oh, I was thinking
I'm thinking
teepee.
Yeah.
Don't want to mix up a yurt and a teepee.
Hey, Zen, can you believe how much he doesn't know about yurts?
It's like you've never been to Mongolia.
Really? Or, anywhere,
Yurtland.
Our Green Lake campground down the road that has a yurt that we rented out one time.
Granny's built like 4 yurts.
I've built none yurts. I'm not doing well in the yurt department. All right. The 27-day-old thing that we have, Mr. Miracle is getting picked up for a series. This is one of...
I heard it's already been produced. It's come out in seasons 1 through 3 and shut down by now.
Already canceled. Yeah, it's a tax write-off.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite books in recent years, like one of my all-timer favorite comics. I fucking love this story. So I'm hoping that they do a good job with it. It's lots of stuff about depression and being sad and,
wow,
weird for a comic.
It's a real page turner. It's a real burner.
Yeah. No, it's I think Tom King.
The movie. What's that?
I think it's Tom King wrote this one. It's great.
It's a pretty good story. The character's interesting, So
I like anytime they treat the dark side, that whole cast as like treating them like real people and not like mythical, insane god creatures.
Sure.
Which is kind of where they tend to be. Like Harley Quinn used Darkseid a fair bit, but treated it as a ridiculous caricature of that character. And this is, was it Barda? Big Barda?
Yeah, Barda's his love interest in it.
Yeah. She's, besides being twice his size physically, she's like a real character. And I like. So here's hoping. The next one that I have on the list, I guess neither of you care, but Foundation Season 3 has a trailer, and I think that comes out any day now because my YouTubes are filled with things related to Foundation.
So this is a story about construction? Foundations and... Oh, no, it's about makeup.
Yep.
Yeah, you see the big the digging wheels there? They're getting the rare earths needed to make the world's perfect makeup.
Oh, well, that's good.
Yep.
I'm glad somebody's doing that,
It's a dark world.
Because you use a dark foundation. If you use a foundation that better matches your colors, Rob, you should be fine.
No, I prefer when I use the wrong color foundation, so my face and my neck are so clearly a different color that I look like a clown.
Oh, okay. You like
who has that makeup look?
People we know.
So I've probably already bothered you guys with this, but I've finished the 7 books audiobook series of Dungeon Crawler Carl.
You did. You
And
talked
it's
about this
fantastic.
last time.
It is absolutely fantastic.
Wasn't Bates? Didn't Bates talk about that one last week too? Like he binged it too.
It's almost like Bates is in it. Some of the voices. I swear to God. Yeah.
Right on.
I ran it for a reason, but now I've forgotten. So never mind.
The other boy, we got a lot of like bits of media. The trailer for Spaceballs, the announcement for Spaceballs.
Yeah, and I think this is a very good thing.
I think it was a charmingly done thing. My wife is thrilled that they're naming the Bill Pullman's son Starburst. And being played by Pullman's kid.
Yeah.
Yep. Bob from Thunderbolts and Bob from Maverick.
And Bob is he named Bob in this one? That'd be kind of great.
That'd be great. He should be Star Bob.
I have to admit, he was the best thing about Thunderbolts.
Yeah. He was also one of the best things in Maverick.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's actually a really fun, interesting actor,
Yeah, I think this is the opportunity for him to branch out and be something cool.
And not Bob.
And not Bob in a Bobless way. There's enough Bobs. I don't need competition because eventually I'll assume my final form and become a Bob.
Yeah.
I'm trying to avoid that, to tell you the truth.
Yeah. If one of us were to opt into Bob, it would probably reduce like some linguistic communication errors that we've had over the years.
For sure.
And
that could be called Bob.
Particularly when we worked with another Rob too.
Yep.
It was a mess.
Yep. It was hard keeping track of Little Rob, Robbo, Rob Prime, Big Rob, Rob. I think that's why more than anything I became Taco.
That's true.
Yeah.
No name collisions on Taco.
Like Spanish Mexican Rob, because of your deep heritage in
the Netherlands. Yeah.
Taco being the Spanish version of Rob.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
It's Spanish for Rob. It's Spanish for Malta.
You might want to not fact check that.
No, it's probably it's definite. Well, if you ask Google AI, which is notoriously filled with accuracy.
So in Basque, Malda translates into slope or coast.
All right. All right.
So is that what is it in whatever your people are, Norwegian, Sweden, German, Viking? What
just Dutch.
Oh, okay. What is Malda in Dutch? What is Roseboom in Dutch?
Rosebush.
Oh, that makes perfect sense.
I actually don't know what Malda is in Dutch. I never really thought about it being a Dutch word.
Let's go with coast.
All right. Yep. Coast.
A long line of Viking florists.
Yeah. Say what you will. Flowers are very important to your people.
Yep. They fight with thorns.
Yeah. But back to Spaceballs. I'm looking forward to it. It's very.
I hope that they film all of Mel Brooks' stuff like right now. Like right now. Because that dude is like 100. Yeah.
He is old.
I do wonder, and I know this is a macabre thing, but you gotta like get insurance for your actors and stuff when you go into production. Like that's a big deal. Like when Carrie Fisher died, like there was a huge insurance policy on her related to the filming of the next Star Wars movie.
Well, they probably fully imaged him so they can simulate him.
Yeah, he'll be a hologram for sure. There's also a movie came out relatively recently, well, last 5 years for sure. That was the premise. The premise was their production was going to go to shit, so they hire a lead actor who was not careful at all, and they were going to have him killed in the movie to cash in on the insurance policy.
Oh, that's kind of great. What movie is that?
I can't remember the name of it.
Movie actor dies to sell more tickets.
That's not at all what Rob said. Well, let's see. What else do we got on the list? Oh, the Trump team. They put all their AI plans up on GitHub, and their secret plans.
Nice.
And then Quick pulled them down. And then there were links going around because it turns out it's hard to delete things from GitHub. And so they were still there. They might still be there. I just think that's great.
Oh, the movie is called The Comeback Trail.
Ah.
All right.
It has Robert De Niro, Tommy Lee Jones, Morgan Freeman, and Zach Braff in it.
Wow.
Oh, Zach Braff.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't know he still made movies. He directed
Wouldn't he?
he directed a clunker a while back, and I thought he was in trouble because I shouldn't speculate wildly.
Yeah.
Let's see. There's a trailer for the new Naked Gun, which I'm
looking forward to.
I haven't watched it. I love that movie.
Yeah, I just rewatched that movie like a few weeks ago too, and that Top Secret is my favorite of those movies. I think Top Secret is just a straight up masterpiece for what that is, that Warner Brothers Looney Tunes sort of translated to film. But The Naked Gun is probably like the best as a movie.
I think Airplane might be my guilty favorite in that genre of ridiculous comedy. But Naked Gun for me is pretty close second.
Yeah. I love that movie.
I was talking to, I think it was Franny, because we were talking about my brain today. It is we were talking about Leslie Nielsen in Forbidden Planet.
Mm-hmm.
You have to realize Leslie Nielsen was like the go-to kind of tough guy, stoic, and then he did Naked Gun, and everyone's like, "Holy crap, this is funny."
He did
in some ways. Neeson,
Airplane.
He's getting older. He doesn't need to do more action movies. He's gonna have to do action movies with a cane. It's like let him become the funny man he's always wanted to be.
He deserves it.
Clint Eastwood took a really weird turn where he made the same thing, but then instead of being a physical threat, he had to be some old curmudgeon with a gun.
Yeah.
And you get sick of those movies after a while.
Yeah, they're physically demanding. It's like, you know what? It's okay to go to your trailer, chill out after being silly on screen.
Just be funny.
Just be funny.
Just be funny. Read the funny lines other people wrote for you to say.
Yeah.
That's all right. I like that.
There you go.
I can't wait until they reboot Any Which Way You Can and Any Which Way You Could. The orangutan movie.
Any Which Way But Loose.
But Loose, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very important that we get the correct name for the monkey movies. And then that led to that TV series that was kind of based on Convoy, the BJ and the Bear, which was, and Bear was a monkey. There's a thing where they needed a monkey in everything in Hollywood. It was very
This season of The Righteous Gemstones had a plot line, which I thought they were just going to take straight to Monkey Shine, or Cuts the Monkey, Rob. They get a helper monkey, and it's threatening. But I liked Righteous Gemstones a lot, and their season finale, their series finale was last season, and there is so much Walton Goggins Wang, it's extraordinary.
Yeah, he's good for it.
I hope he's wearing a sock because it's just flapping in the breeze. We've got Doug Liman is gonna get to direct The Stand. Which, as far as I can tell, has now been made like 8 different times in the last week.
Yeah, the one, I think my sister was an extra in the one with Rob Lowe and everything. They filmed it in Utah, right? And went to going there, and
it's the 80s one, right?
Yeah, and that's like kind of my favorite because that's the one that I had,
sure,
growing up. And then there was one done like 3 or 4 years ago, apparently.
Yeah, there was a series.
You didn't even notice it.
It's a mess.
Yeah, it's kind of like
that's a really hard story to tell all at one time.
Yeah,
all at one sitting. It's such a long book, and there's so many parts to it. I just don't know that you could turn that into a good movie.
Well, they definitely proved that it's hard to turn into a good TV series since the TV series was so wonky.
It was super wonky. It was only a 2-parter, right?
I think it was like 8 or 10 episodes, but I think maybe
the first one. It depends on which version. Yeah.
Parker Lewis Can't Lose. It had Rob Lowe. It had
Parker Lewis. Yep.
Molly Ringwald.
Everybody from the 80s back. Let's see. So they think they might have fixed the leak at the space station.
Yeah. Oh, also, Denis Villeneuve got Bond. Okay.
The only other thing, they're going to shoot that whole thing in IMAX. which I think is actually really funny.
Actually, on the Dune sets. So the next one's going to be
Really
the Quantum
efficient.
Solace was sort of in the desert, you know. So they're
Right.
just going to reuse the sets from Dune, and
Right.
you know, it will be the Kwisatz Haderach or something.
James Bond should have very blue eyes, and this is just that just gives him an in-canon or
I mean,
in-universe reason for it.
Do you think they're going to put that series to bed? I think that's what it needs for a while. Honestly, I think you need to
Rest.
put James Bond alone for a decade, and then maybe bring it.
They're not even going to shoot this until 27.
I mean, so apparently Barbara Broccoli went into a conference room with a bunch of Amazons, and they're like, "We're very excited about the potential for more IP content out of the Bond universe." And she's like, "I'm out." And so she basically walks out of the negotiations. She's pissed about it, right?
I heard they paid her off.
And then they turned around and gave her $1 billion.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay.
All right, done.
She had already made some from the
story. I like to see the story of how Odd Job got his hat, you know, like
right.
He used to start doing that. Pull all the how Jaws got his teeth, you know, like
right.
Well, you know, they had a whole series of offshoot books of varying
You mean the James Bond books?
I mean, there were some that were just dogs too. And then they did a series of comic books around Moneypenny and around some of the other agents and the rest. And they weren't all bad, you know.
No, they could probably do a really funny little comedy about Q and the tech guys. You know, I could see watching a series about those dudes coming up with tech stuff and trying it out in the field and stuff. It would be interesting.
Yeah, well, I think like there was a Q spin out.
I would like to see a lighter hearted James Bond.
Felix Leiter? Yeah, because they actually had some spin outs for Felix Leiter too.
Yeah, stuff where he just solves, you know, problems like who stole the Girl Scout cookies and isn't saving the world, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Just stuff where it's
lower decks.
Stuff where it's fun and not like angsty. The last one was sad.
Copy paper, you know.
I don't know. After what was the one with where they shot it all on that island, that like abandoned Chinese mining island? It was like 2 movies back.
I don't know. I gave up on Bond a long time ago.
I've seen them all, but I gotta tell you, after like the second Daniel Craig one, I couldn't tell any of them apart. They're all just kind of boring.
They're all the same.
And Daniel Craig, he's a really good actor.
Yeah, I freaking love Knives Out and those things.
Well, yeah. You know.
All right.
All right.
Well,
you know what I do like though is
Air.
Poker Face. Boy, that's good.
Yeah, you know, I think tonight or last night might have been the season finale.
Yeah, no,
I haven't seen it yet.
I've seen all but the last one.
There's been like 4 like really good episodes of that show this season, like really good. Again, it's one of those things. The stakes are low, and like it knows that it's here to have fun. I need that. The world is shitty. I like my shows to be lighthearted and fun.
Yeah.
So let's see. They plugged the International Space Station leak, so good for them. They get to have air. That's nice. What was the but? There was a but.
I guess.
To oxygen. They first identified the leaks in 2019, but they think that they're not exactly sure how they fixed it.
That's always safe.
Yeah. There was a trailer for Project Hail Mary.
I'm very much looking forward to that.
Yeah, me too.
Very much.
If Mr. Miracle was my favorite comic book in the last few years, Hail Mary might be my favorite book in the last few years.
I rewatched The Martian after seeing the trailer.
Yeah?
So, yeah, I'm just
I rewatched The Martian in the last year as well. It's a damn fine movie.
It's a great movie. And so I'm wondering they cut a bunch of stuff to make The Martian work in a movie form, and I'm wondering what they're going to cut from Hail Mary. Like, I'd imagine some of the flashbacks are going to have to go. You know, it's like,
well, that book is structured so weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it though? I mean, if you look at the history of science fiction on TV, right? There's a lot of these, And here's the past, here's the future, here's the past, here's the future, here's the past, here's the future. It's like, Buffy and all the scenes from Angel and Spike's past, or Highlander and every single episode.
I'll tell you what I'm really glad that they're not doing. I'm really glad that they're not doing this as a TV series, because you could see how they would do that as a TV series, and it would be awful.
I don't know. It could be great, but I think they should either do it as like a 3-parter, like 6 hours long, or they should do it as a just tight, like The Martian was. The Martian was so tight.
Yeah,
like I rewatched it. I'm like, man, this is a tight movie. This is good.
I don't know who wrote that one, but Ridley Scott knows how to keep that pace going when he wants to. But
well, I mean,
this is Lord and Miller, man. They know what they're doing. Yeah. Lord and Miller have like, I don't know, like 5 of my favorite movies of all time in their list.
Really good. So I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess is what I'm saying.
I am a little bummed that they kind of spoiled the last like shot or two, kind of spoils what the main thrust of the book, but there's no way that they wouldn't be able to get the marketing for that without like revealing what happens at the midpoint.
Yeah. I mean, I will say the Blip A, it's a hell of a ship, man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, okay. That is, I mean, it screams epic.
Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. And I like Ken. I think he's great. I'll watch him in anything. If only to look into his dreamy whatever color eyes he has.
Does he have spice eyes? Does he have spice blue eyes?
I don't know. If he does, he has to be cast on Dune.
Yeah.
Save a lot of money on CG.
James Bond is Paul Atreides.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Did either of you watch that super mediocre HBO Dune spin-off TV show? I don't know that we ever talked about it.
No.
The sisters or whatever.
No.
Yeah, I watched that. It's bad. I didn't finish it. I got like 4 episodes in. Oh, there's a crack in the Space Needle. That seems safe.
It's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I thought was great about that is that the opening sequence of Final Destination, literally has a cracking Space Needle in it. I was like, all right, this is some good timing. But they claim it's just a cosmetic crack on the top layer. But I'm scared of heights, and I don't know that you could pay me to be looking through that glass floor with a crack on it.
Absolutely would not do that.
Yeah.
That's my line.
Okay. Also, you pixel users, put down the ganja.
Put down your pixel, man. What's up with the Pixel phone?
So basically, it was Guatemala. What the hell was this? Spain. So apparently, if they find you carrying a Pixel phone, they think you're a drug dealer, because people are taking the Pixel phones, they're installing graphene on it, and trying to communicate without the popo. I don't know. And so,
what's unique to the Pixel?
You can load other firmware on it.
Oh, it's just so you can sideload the OS.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. So that's what they're saying.
Oh, good to know, because we need new phones in this house.
You're in the criminal business?
Yeah. Maybe Pixel isn't the one, or maybe it is the one now. Maybe it gets cheaper now that everyone thinks you're a drug dealer.
Right.
Yeah, maybe you could buy it from a drug dealer looking to upgrade.
Yes.
Yeah. There you go.
So, and I guess if the idea of being arrested by default for carrying a Pixel phone makes you sweaty,
then don't get on an airplane.
Be careful.
There you go.
Is this true? Who posted this one? Is this you?
Yeah, it is. Evidently, their scanners picks up anything, including moisture, as a potential thing that needs to be investigated. So let's say you're it's hot outside and you're running to make your flight. Nope. You can make sure you're nice and cool and washed down.
Yeah.
Because if you're extra sweaty, the alarms will go off. It will be like, nope, you have something on you. Time for a hand check.
Oh, a hand check. Ew.
I don't know. This is a very distasteful story on a lot of levels, because is it only women reporting it? Because it may not be that they're...
No, It's not just women. It was just one woman who talked about it first on Reddit.
And especially attractive men. I'm just trying to figure out like TSA kink that we didn't,
right?
That we already knew about.
That
you know?
Well, I think we just want anyone sweaty. It's not about it's the sweat is the point, Chris. Not the vehicle producing the sweat. It's about the sweat to the TSA.
They got some special, special brand of pervert there.
I used to joke that so when I buy a belt, this is a little bit of inside baseball. When I buy a belt, I try to get belts that don't have too much metal content, because unless they've set the bog standard metal detectors above level 3, depending on their level of awareness and alertness, a moderately sized belt loop will never set it off. And what I didn't realize is there was also a humidity sensor, that I had to worry about. It's like, well, what's your humidity sensor set at? Because if I'm extra sweaty,
I'm feeling like I'm at about 85% right now.
Yeah. It's like, are we at Florida, or are we at, Vancouver?
Normally my blood temperature is 98.6, but it feels like in this humidity, it feels like it's 101.
Yeah. I see what you mean.
And also think about the poor TSA guys who, once this becomes
it's so smelly,
common knowledge, there's going to be a couple of people show up extra sweaty, demanding research, right?
Gonna need a pat down, sir.
Yeah.
No, thank you. Media. I got a handful of fun movies I saw.
I watched Thunderbolts.
I saw Thunderbolts. Yeah.
It's fun.
It's okay.
It is.
Right.
It and Guardians are like the two good ones in the last chunk.
I don't think it's Guardians quite, but it's okay.
I put it in the same tier. In that, like movies
Guardians
that
3?
I would do
Guardians 3.
Yeah. My rating scale is 3 stars is for fans only. 4 stars is something that I could maybe recommend.
I see.
To somebody that's not just a fan. I could see watching that.
Range?
What's that?
How many stars are in your range?
309.
6? 4.5?
There's 87 stars, Chris.
Yeah.
I mean, can we just, if we're calling back to Slashdot, like everyone's like, oh, I'm going to give it a 5. No, 5 means something.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 4. Oh, so you think it's sarcastic or informative? It's like, no. It's like when you mix the gauging on multiple axes inside the same axis, it doesn't work.
I hear you. So I will tell you my rating system. My rating system is 3 stars is a functional movie with enjoyable parts. It's fine. 4 stars is a movie that you would recommend to somebody who likes movies, and 5 stars is something you would recommend to every human being who has ever walked the earth. They should just see this movie. It's 5 stars. 2 stars, you should not watch this movie. And 1 star is it's so bad that it might be enjoyable for its badness.
So for me, Thunderbolts is somewhere in the 3-star realm, maybe a little bit higher for people who like Marvel and a little bit lower for people who don't, because I think there's way too much backstory involved for someone who doesn't like Marvel movies.
That's fair. That's fair.
Out of 5.
Yeah, out of 5.
Okay, great.
I would give it a low 4, high 3.
I would give it, I think, a 3. I think it's a solid 3. It wasn't, I didn't feel like I wasted my time or I was rolling my eyes too much. I thought that Bob was great. I'm back and forth on Pug, but it was fine. I can do without Valentina de la Fontaine.
Valentina sucks.
I wish the Crimson Guardian was a little less slapsticky.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah, just like dial it back to like a step.
In fact, I might say it's a high 3, maybe a low 4, if he wasn't so ridiculous. I understand what they're shooting for. They overshot it, I think.
They overdid it, yeah.
My problem with it...
On a scale of 1 to 10, he should have brought it down to a 7.
Correct, yeah.
My problems with it are more about how they spend too long... it takes too long to kind of get the team to gel. And then a lot of the goals throughout the movie are kind of unmotivated. Like we have to go to a building, get out of a building, go to a place. Why? Like a lot of the
somehow we all have to risk our lives to save one random person we met 5 minutes ago,
Right.
who's suddenly our friend.
It's a little,
The problem is, if they're going to make something heartfelt, you have to have time for that to stew.
yeah.
You have time for that to brew, unless you're going to be super tight,
Well, the other part to that motivation is they all had an incentive to fuck Val, and this was a good path for them to achieve. But I agree, it's because Val herself is kind of a nothing villain at this point.
Well, I mean, the whole team is, how many super soldiers can you have on one team and have it be interesting?
But they addressed that with good comedy.
Like none of those people are, like Iron Man level power, and he's like mid of the road for the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
And all of these people are a little bit more dangerous than Hawkeye, and then Sentry, who's basically Marvel Superman.
Yeah. Well, they've got 3 people with super soldier serum in that cast, which are like they should just be able to punch through anybody.
Yeah. And then you have Florence Pugh, who's like, "Hi,
I have more charisma than all the rest of you put together."
And does she?
I love the Pugh.
I know you do.
I'm a Pugh fan.
Yeah. So it wasn't bad. Also, the whole like Asterix New Avengers thing.
Yeah, whatever.
Not working. Stop it. Stop it.
Trying too hard.
Take that and Annalene Bennis and just put them in a different thing. Just let it drop.
The one thing that was different that I kind of liked was that they were named after the soccer team. I kind of thought that was funny.
Good gag. Yeah. Good gag.
That was a 3 out of 5 gag. I was all right with it. Yeah. And then like and Bucky Barnes, he just looked depressed the whole year.
But he is depressed. He's a senator now.
No, I know you're depressed in your character, but it's like, I don't want to watch this guy who's just like, do I really? Fine.
But that's in keeping with the movie. The whole all of those characters are depressed.
So tired. I don't need more tired.
You know what? I'm okay with that.
Like
just because
fatigue in a human being.
It thematically works in the context of this film. In general, you're right. But this is the fundamental problem with this movie, is that they made this should have been a $50 million movie, but you can't make a $50 million Marvel movie. You got to make a $200 million Marvel movie. And
Bob's too expensive, man.
Yeah, right. Bob's pricey.
Yeah, you know how expensive those black eyes are?
Yep. It's hard
that costs a lot of money to get those
to make a shadow.
Yeah.
All right.
And that was a great effect. I actually was like,
it was awesome.
Gonna come back,
especially considering up until that point the movie was visually pretty dull.
It was dull.
They spend like a third of the movie in a basement, and then they spend another 20 minutes driving through a desert where the colors are all washed out. I mean, it makes sense for the theming of the movie. It does not necessarily make for the most fun film. Rob, I saw one you might like called Marshmallow. I mentioned
that. Oh no, I didn't see that. It's on my list.
It's kids go to summer camp. And I don't think I spoiled the twist, but there's a good twist. And it was one that I did not see coming. And it's fun. It's not like, again, that is a 3-star movie. But it is a 3-star movie, maybe a 4-star if you love horror movies.
Right. I have a different grading scale for horror movies and fantasy movies because they usually suck.
Yeah.
So you have to give them a little benefit, you gotta give them a little extra head start.
I watched another one called Dead Mail, which is super
part of your
weird.
Oscar rewatch or
no, these are just weird random movies that I came across. Dead Mail is actually really creepy and weird. It opens up with a guy being chased and there's blood and he's stuffing a bloody letter into a mailbox.
Okay.
And then the next chunk of the movie is the postal investigators trying to track down where this bloody letter is supposed to go because they're in the dead mail department because it's torn and the address is messed up. And it's a help letter. And then it flashes back to these guys who are like, one of them is like a synthesizer inventor. And like he wants to make patches. It's like it's all kind of set in the 80s. But the tone and the vibe for this movie are really weird. Like really weird. And I kind of groove just on like it's a slow burn. It's not like exciting or anything, but it's a tone thing. The guy who's the expert in tracking down dead mail is like a weirdo, and the synthesizer guy's a weirdo, and his investing partner is a weirdo. Like everybody's like these really awkward, specific performances, which is it's actually
Barbarian.
Yeah, but not it never goes crazy. I mean, nothing goes as crazy as Barbarian. And the tone to this is maybe a little bit more like, boy, not even Napoleon Dynamite. Like there's just, I can't even describe it. Watch 5 minutes of it. It's interesting, if only to see these weird performances. I watched Friendship, which is, are either of you into Tim Robinson?
Oh, yes, I looked at that and it's in my queue. I couldn't quite figure out how much horror versus how much comedy it is in the previews.
It's not horror.
Okay.
It's more uncomfortable.
Well, horror like Fatal Attraction, but with some weird guy who wants to be friends with this other guy. That's what it looks like from the previews.
Yeah, it's more just like my life sucks, my marriage is falling apart, I'm a weirdo, and like riding that for like it runs too long. But if you like Tim Robinson, it's all about his like weird mannerisms and his weird performances.
I like his Netflix comedy series quite a bit.
If you like that, then you will probably get more out of this than I did. I find him to be tedious.
He certainly can be, but he has this thing where he laps around. It's a little bit like Maria Bamford for me.
Yeah.
When you first watch Maria Bamford, if you can get over the voice,
yeah,
you can really appreciate how funny she is. If you can't get over the voice, you're never gonna like her.
For sure. No, that's a good comparison. There's a both of them have a second level, but the first level's hard to get through.
It is.
I watched K-pop Demon Hunters, which neither of you will enjoy. It's fine. It's fine. It's a 3-star movie. Some fun dance sequences. There is some good ideas in it. I really the central conceit is that they are a trio of girl pop stars.
The title kind of says it all.
Well, they create a shield to defend the Earth with the power of their magic and their fandom. And then the forces of evil put together a evil boy band to compete with them. So there's a rivalry between the boy band and the girl band, and it's charming, but it's a 3-star whatever kind of movie.
Yeah.
The Shrouds is Cronenberg's newest. It's pretty cool, but it's a 3-star movie unless you're a Cronenberg nut.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
And which axis of stars is this 3 on?
This is on the standard Rob scale.
Okay.
Right. The standard Rob scale. It's 3-star movie, completely functional, okay, watchable movie with some problems. Unless you're a Cronenberg fan. If you're a Cronenberg fan, it's a 4-star.
Out of 5.
Out of 5.
On the Cronenberg appreciation
you get a 1-star Cronen bonus.
5 is Videodrome, and 1 is
if you end the Krona bonus, then it's a 4.
Yeah.
Do you surf Rob Mullah's reviews at a -3 Krona bonus?
Yep. It's the gross premise of it is that the guy's wife dies, and he starts a cemetery where you wrap the corpses up in these digital shrouds and get to like look at an app on your phone and watch their bodies decompose.
Sweet.
Yeah. But the movie is actually kind of more of a technology is scary thing. There's an AI.
Coming to Legacy Dignity Memorial plus.
Yes, but that's exactly what the whole thing is. You
could save yourself a lot of money and just throw her out in the back 40 and just watch with your own eyes.
Yep, you can.
Like that one mountain practice where they just put the bodies out and let the
corpse camp. No, I can't remember what it's.
Well, they
Yeah.
approved corpse composting here in Washington State as well as in Oregon, I think. So there are companies that will take your body and
Compost
I don't
it.
know, put it in one of those compost rollers for a while.
Right
you
on.
know?
It takes you have to spin a really long time.
Yeah, but I mean, like if you have a pacemaker, they'll have to pull the battery out.
For sure.
You
don't
don't
want to
wanna
get
mess
lead in the compost.
You know, so
No, the
different like compost for smokers and non-smokers.
the weird thing in this one is that he keeps flashing back to the wife as she's dying. Like, so the AI, his wife and his wife's sister are all kind of played by the same actress.
Oh, okay.
And like
And she was also in K-pop Demon Hunters. People don't know this. Yeah.
A 3-star movie that doesn't get a Cronin bonus.
Doesn't get a Cronin.
Doesn't get a Cronin bonus. So it's
like
only
Cronut,
3-star.
but like, you know.
I watched The Phoenician Scheme, which is Wes Anderson's.
Oh, how was that?
Again, you get an Anderson bonus if you like Wes Anderson.
I heard it's a very Wes Anderson.
It is very Wes Anderson. My problem with it is that it really feels like, so ever since Asteroid City, and maybe going before that, but Anderson like has this growing ensemble of A-list stars who are in his movies, and it really feels like we only had Bryan Cranston for one day. Let's shoot a really weird one-day scene with Bryan Cranston that doesn't really matter in the movie, but like a bunch of the actors feel like that.
Yeah.
Like we got you for 2 days. You're not really necessary, but because of that, the story feels a little stilted. It kind of reminded me a little bit of The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou. It had some good gags. I liked it better than several of his. Like I liked it better than Asteroid City, and I liked it better than the Mr. Fox, The Isle of the Dogs. Like
I feel like where was it above or below Videodrome?
Well, Videodrome gets the Cronin bonus, and I don't know how you compare a Cronin bonus to a Wes bonus.
Wes bonus.
I just keep thinking about in this recycler that we have, can you have kosher compost? Like, could we break it up by what religion you were?
Can you have halal compost? I don't know if you could.
I don't know.
I mean, it has to do in how.
Right.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
in the Shrouds, they address Jewish burial practice. That's actually
when you said Shiva is like Shiva for 7 days and then composter.
Jesus, yeah, as the Lord intended. Ballerina is John Chick.
I admit I was super tired when we started watching it, so I only made it halfway through. I have to watch the other half.
You probably watched enough, although that was another one like 20 minutes into the movie before you even get to Ana de Armas.
Well, that's not true. Well, you have young on.
Yeah, like the character is in there, but she's not played by Ana de Armas until 20 minutes in.
I admit, like, so I liked John Wick 1 quite a bit. Right?
Yeah, for sure.
I couldn't care less about. It's just, it gets full cartoony and it's just a lot of repetitive action.
It bogs down on its mythology.
And it was really funny. My wife and I, you know, my wife, especially in the 80s, she probably went to a lot more nightclubs than I ever did. But we're like, boy, these nightclubs are not very popular. You know, there's not a lot of people in them. And God, they're well lit. You know, it's like, that's the one thing you don't want in a nightclub is a lot of light. You know,
right.
It was one of the things that kind of pulled us out of the action. We're like,
the nightclub deco. Yeah.
Is this thinly populated with this much light on these people? Maybe if they turn the lights down, they'd have more people in their nightclub.
I don't know. The nightclubs seem pretty crowded to me, but I'm not a nightclub person either.
Once the action started, suddenly, there's more like dudes with guns and stuff. But it's like leading up to it, you could weave through the crowd without even touching anybody. It's like, that's not a nightclub. So I had issues with the realism.
All right. Realism was never my concern for a John Wick movie.
Everyone had so many tattoos. And I'm like, did she get the tattoo when she was like 12? You know?
Especially after 2. 2 is where it starts. I kind of like the idea of the assassin hotel and them setting up around the world. That's okay.
Yeah.
But that's a different story than John Wick.
Well, were they going to make a TV series about the Continental, or did they?
I think they think they are.
It's just,
I think it's coming out anytime.
There's a moment in Kill Bill, I think we talked about this on this venerated podcast of ours, where they're on an airplane and there's like sheaths for their swords on the airplane. I'm like, I want to know about that. That's worth a movie right there. And the Continental, I'm like, okay, kind of a movie, maybe, but like a whole TV series. And they're really elevating it way beyond where it deserves. And I like Ian McShane. He's great, but you can have too much Ian McShane. There's a reason you don't have Ian McShane.
Although I just watched Hot Rod last night, so
Hot Rod. Oh my God, I haven't thought about that.
I love Hot Rod, but again, Hot Rod gets a two-star Rob Loves Lonely Island bonus.
Oh, this is the Andy Samberg bonus.
Yeah. No, Lonely Island bonus.
Sam bonus.
Ooh, the Sam bonus. All right. The last movie that I wanted to mention is more for Rob, but it's called The Other. It just came out like in the last couple of days.
Not the others, but the other.
The Other singular.
Yeah, you don't want to get them mixed up.
It's
like we have Hot Rod and Hot Dog.
Yeah, don't confuse them.
Or Hot Rods.
So this beautiful couple has had a bunch of miscarriages and they're sad, so they adopt a little girl and she's mute and has trauma. But there's like the neighbor has Down syndrome but can see ghosts. So like it's got a lot of like really uncomfortable tropes. The special needs kid with superpowers.
Like Down syndrome people who can see ghosts?
Well, like the special person with superpowers.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Like that kind of thing.
Like the magical Negro, but the special needs person is the smartest person in town. Right?
Yeah. Well, and she can see that something's wrong with this little girl. And then as it goes along, it gets increasingly more body horror. But again, this is a movie that can't decide if it's a 1-star movie or a 3-star movie. But it's got some really fun practical monster stuff at the end. It's stupid. Like it's a stupid movie. The acting is really suspect, but like I strongly suggest you try to see this movie without spoiling it because it's bonkers. It's fun.
Yeah. Did you ever see The Others with Nicole Kidman?
Yeah, not that long ago. In fact, that's a good movie.
It's a good one,
like a shockingly good movie.
Yeah, the twist in it's really good.
Yeah, and I had never. That was one that I'd never heard of, and it showed up on some list of like horror movies with a twist.
Well, it's one of those that you can only watch once.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm going to ask a question. Did you guys watch Ironheart?
I did.
What'd you think? Like the first two, like they kept on hopping into odd sort of motivations. I haven't gone past the first two. I mean, is it worth doing?
Or you watched the first two?
I watched the first two.
I think the first two were the worst two.
Yeah,
that's hard to say. I thought the whole thing was pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it started bad, got a little bit better to the point where I was like, all right, I'll keep going, and then the wheels fell off.
Yeah, I expect the ending to all those to be terrible because it always seems like they don't know how to tell a story. They tell a beginning, they don't know what a middle is, and they have an ending and they don't know how to get there. So everything happens all at once and it's ridiculous.
And a lot of the ending seems to exist more to set up something than to satisfyingly conclude the story you're watching.
And I'm sorry, spoiler alert here if you don't want to hear this. Making a battle suit out of a fucking car is the stupidest thing I have ever heard in my life. Right? Like, take a car and smash
it. She made an Autobot
to the car, right?
Somehow there's enough parts in like whatever a Dodge Challenger from the 70s to make a flying Iron Man suit. Now I get it.
Emotional consideration paid by Dodge.
Iron Man managed to make his flying suit in a cave in the first Iron Man movie.
He got to make his iron suit out of a cave using old munitions that they had.
Well, military stuff.
Right?
He had some modern Stark munitions.
And he had he had the arc reactor power supply.
Yeah.
And she has none of that, but she does have, I guess, 20 years more advanced technology because of MIT.
And a hedge witch.
And a hedge witch.
She had a hedge witch?
So the back half of the show gets all magic.
Oh no.
It gets into Iron Man has always played with this idea of magic and technology fighting each other. And I always thought it was dumb. It was dumb in the original Iron Man. It was dumb in the Iron Man spinoff, you know?
Yeah.
I did like Sacha Baron Cohen though.
Yeah, he's good casting.
Although
they don't use him.
I like
They
it.
don't use him at all. There's no Mephisto makeup that I can remember or see. Part of it, to full disclosure, it was so bad I couldn't force myself to watch it, so it just played in the background a lot while I worked.
You were doing,
Right, but
Yeah, that's fair.
uh,
I really
but
liked.
I don't think they ever showed Mephisto makeup. It was just Sacha Baron. It was just Borat in a club that existed in a realm that he created or something. You know, just
Mostly in a pizza parlor.
yeah, stupid.
But again,
Oh,
it felt like they had Sacha Baron Cohen for like a day. Because he doesn't do anything really. I did like one of the witch girls. I thought she was charming. The problem with that show for me fundamentally is that it's really hard to introduce your character as an unlikable character. And her opening episode, she's unlikable. She's kicked out of school. She's, she's breaking the school rules. She's arrogant. Like she's all the things that Tony Stark is, but Tony Stark has Robert Downey Jr. charisma to back it up.
and billions.
This actress, she does not have that level of charisma. So
Yeah.
like it started off, you don't like her. I kind of liked the middle of the show, and then the more it bogs down in the magic stuff, it really fell apart. It's not Secret Invasion bad, but Secret Invasion bad is like maybe the worst TV show like that you could make.
I was ready to argue with you about it, but I never finished Secret Invasion.
It only
I
gets
did-
worse.
So I guess maybe that's true.
Secret Invasion is awful.
Really?
It starts bad and it gets worse, and you can't imagine it getting worse, yet somehow it does.
I didn't subject myself to it. So.
No, you are wise. That's a 2-star. Like it's like, at least with a 1-star, like it's fun enough to watch it and celebrate in the terribleness. 2 stars.
All right, you can
2 stars
MS
is worthless. 2 stars has no value. In fact, 2 stars actively makes the rest of the MCU bad. Only in Rob's scoring system is 2-star worse than 1-star. But
Well,
it is.
Yeah. Okay.
This is how I've been ranking my music for 20 years.
And you default surf at 2, right?
No. But I will watch anything that's 3 stars is a movie that is worth watching if you just enjoy watching movies.
Do you like movies? Would you say you like movies?
Would you say you like movies? I got a 3-star movie for you. Yeah. 4 stars means it's for people who like the things, or who really like that, or like into it. And 5 stars is like everybody should watch this, no questions.
Yeah. And speaking of which,
Murderbot.
I've really been enjoying Murderbot.
Is the last episode out?
It's tonight.
Yeah. My beef with that show, I like this show a lot. My beef with that show, I have 2 beefs. First of all, Apple TV grades their shows, color grades them too dark. And so like I can't watch Murderbot until the sun sets. Because the colors are it's so dark. I find that infuriating. And then also episodes are like 19 minutes long.
They're 22 minutes long. Yeah, they're really short.
And because that show often strongly features the show within a show.
Yeah.
Like there are
You get 3
episodes.
minutes of Sanctuary Moon.
Yeah.
And then
You get 5. You're going to get a 5-minute sequence of Sanctuary Moon, and so there's only actually like 10 minutes of the actual story. I think it would have made a better movie than TV show, but
yeah. So given how short the original source material
very
was,
thin books.
I mean, there were novellas at best,
Yeah.
right? And sometimes they were even shorter. I would say that they're perfect. Like this is exactly the length it needs to be. And you're right, it could be just one movie.
I think that if you put it all together, this is only going to be a 2.5 hour thing. And with a little editing, you could get it down to a 2-hour movie.
It's kind of perfect, That's all. I really like it.
How about The Bear? Have any of you guys been watching The Bear?
That's next on my list.
Left from last season, and then we're gonna watch this season.
I finished Righteous Gemstones, so The Bear is next.
Because I love me some The Bear. But this season, it's Well, you be the judge.
All
It's
right.
not grabbing me like it did before
That's
this
too
season.
bad.
Gotcha.
Too bad. I might even get to that today unless I decide to play video games. Well, gentlemen, we managed to run all the way up to noon.
How about that?
Let's go about our regular daily lives and say goodbye to Chris DeBona.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to Rob Roseboom.
See you.
That was episode 800.